Hey everyone, in today's video we'll be taking a look at the latest Era 3 premium medium tank Dragula T-55AGM. Played a few battles in this tank. It is a medium tank, and with the community op, once the op is finished, you can get it at a 50% discount. The current value is 14,000 something, but if you want to get this tank, you can get it at 7,200 once the op ends. You have to pick a team, which one, so you can either get a discount on the tier 10 object 452k, but if you only play Cold War, you can get a discount on Dragula, but Dragula is cheaper, 14,000 gold, and the price suggests to me this is a bottom tier tank, but its values kind of give me an impression it's a mid tier, and that's where the confusion is for me. Not 100% sure yet, but it costs 14,000, same as T59D, and T59D is a bottom tier medium as well. We don't have top tier medium in Era 3, so it's either bottom or mid. And based on the price, I would say it's a bottom tier. However, when we compare it to T59D, this tank is better than that tank in almost every way. It's faster, it has slightly better DPM, it has more pen, it has more HP, significantly more HP for a medium, and the HP is what kind of gives me an impression maybe it's a mid-tier tank. I'll get a confirmation soon on this, and I will add it in the comments. But so far, just assume it's just a bottom tier tank. That will mean that you will earn more silver as you'll be fighting against same or higher tier enemies. The tank, however, has less gun depression than T59D, but does have more trollish or reliable armor as you do end up bouncing. So how do I play this tank? In the first map, I had a camo setup. So I went to the mid, try to put support shots in the middle while I'm not spotted. Didn't want to trade my HP early on. Wanted to keep as much HP as possible till late game. And 1700 damage so far. The tank doesn't feel that bad, but with most of the MPDs being 10 degrees gun depression, you can't really brawl up close. I did get a bit lucky here. As you can see, came another tank of not the best penetration, and he ended up bouncing multiple shots on me. It's also possible it could be using standard not premium, but he kind of overexposed, didn't really expected me to bounce as I'm a medium tank. But that was a good thing for me. Some benefit you get for a newer tank, as people like to rush it, and sometimes they don't know if the armor will be that strong, especially for a medium. So I do manage to do some damage to K1 as well as put a shot into the other mediums that were poking, not really paying attention to me. I didn't really want to keep engaging the same tank, so I keep switching my priorities so that I don't like when I'm playing medium, right? I kind of like to use mobility and don't want to just get locked into one target, because sometimes the enemy will just keep staring at you, and that will result in you not doing damage. So if the enemy stop peeking, then I just switch my target, and because it's a small map, it kind of allowed me. Went to leopard with some more shots into him, bringing at 6,000 damage. And the only thing with this tank, it's decent, as I said. Like, it's decent for its value, 7,000. If you have to get a tank, if you have to get this thing, this is the time, right? Because you can get it at a discounted price. If you don't want the tank, or you don't think you'll play it, then obviously you don't have to, because as I said, it's a medium tank, it's not a top tier, and always a struggle when you are bottom or mid tier. The tank, however, does play Dragula song in the garage. The song is temporary though. Once the license expired, the song will no longer be played. So keep that in mind, it's like a timed bonus. So push into the zero line, put some shots into the light tank. Also, I do bounce, or the ATGM do get absorbed as well due to the composite armor up front, as well as the side or the front half of the sides. And even though this is Cold War, it's a different armor, you can't really see block damage, but you do see a lot of shots that are bouncing off me. Again, M1A2 on my side, he kind of RBRT didn't pin me. Lower player is obviously weak. Leclerc aim this time ended up pinning me, and only one remaining teammate over on my side. I'm at 10,000 damage. Wanted to do at least like 15k, but not doesn't look like that will happen, as the last remaining teammate is also dead. Light tank pushed into me as well. Leclerc on the left side. It would have been nice if I had killed the Leclerc earlier, but now I'm like in a cross or between three directions. Light tank also trying to get a shot on me. Fired. He didn't pen. I think it was too close. I finished the A2. Leclerc pushed. I could have backed up and he messed up his shot. However, I took my time to aim, took him out of the game, and I was planning to hit the light tank next. However, the other light tank came in and killed me as well. Nonetheless, decent result, 12,000. It was a small map, not the best for mediums. However, for this tank, you start like as a support, as I said, I do it in most tanks, and then you can use your armor towards the end of the game, as you will get some bounces. Now, I usually don't show these kind of replays because there were some questionable red teammates. However, I had to see it because this was one of the game. I wasn't expecting it. It is like a meme game. But I could have had my 20k damage, but I couldn't, and it was not my fault. It would have been my first 20k, and I don't mind. 20k is the magic number in era 3. Even it's better if you get it against regular teammates, but there were some bots in the enemy team. But I just wanted to hit that number, and when I first got this map, I was like, oh, can't use that replay, it's just a waste of a game. So we're just kind of going through the game, waiting to record another like more decent game. But kind of ended up having an interesting battle because most of the time I just farmed the bots. Number 1 ban pan, donating some HP, peeking sideways. It is obviously pretty easy to do damage against bots. It's not a secret, but bots are more common than not, especially in era 3. That's where you'll have most bot lobbies, as the player population is not as much, and even more so if you're even playing it slightly off peak time. So the score is 14-14, 2600 damage. Saw that the enemy has won the GH line, so rotated back to provide support. One thing I did notice about this tank, the shell count, I'm kind of disappointed with the shell count, and you'll kind of know why. I do expect it's a medium. It doesn't have really 10 degrees of gun depression. It does have camo, so I kind of expect to snipe with this tank. And when you're sniping, you do miss shots, and this tank does not have enough shells. And I do feel it needs more shells, because the last thing you want if you have a premium tank is run out of battle, because as I said, lack of gun depression will force you to snipe early on unless you just send it, and if you're sniping you will miss significant amount of your shots and will struggle towards the end if you have to end up carrying the game. Mouse the shell on P shells. This tank does have, if I'm not wrong, the highest premium penetration for a medium tank in era 3. Even the Type 5090 is like 650, this one is 697. And I do recommend running Camonet because, as I said, it's a medium. You should get that ability where you're not spotted, because when you're not lit up, even though it's true vision, you do get the ability to get free first shots and then get back in cover, because most of the time people are only shooting the targets that are actually spotted. This Leclerc decided to push me, put a shot into me, the new Ultimate Season Pass Premium, but I do ended up killing him. However, if you haven't watched my video on Leclerc, comparison with Leopard to KWS3, make sure to check that video, it's on the end screen. Pretty decent games on both the tanks, and how they differ or how they're similar. So moving on to now, 9600 damage, and at this point I was like, since there are so many competent red enemies, I might be able to hit the 20k mark. However, I only have 17 shells remaining. That means I have to pen every shot and maybe a fire. Peace shells also coming in hot. Another metal tank that is currently available for purchase. I didn't bounce any shots on peace shell and took him out of the game. M1A2 not really paying attention to me and providing me a decent opportunity to just start shooting him in the side. And I was a little bit confused here because this is like a regular player but he is playing like a AI here, just retreating, and even his name was like that. I had to check towards the end, but believe me, this is the actual player. 1300 damage, 10 shells remaining. At this point I didn't really even know I had 10 shells or 11 shells remaining. I wasn't counting shells. I was in the dream world where I could see myself hitting the 20k mark. As they say, I was on cloud 9 or whatever the saying goes. 14,700 damage, 8 shells remaining, and this is what I needed, a fire. I do end up setting T-72B, bet you'll bounce on fire, as I did not bounce, bringing my total to 19,000 or 17,000, and I did end up bouncing again. If I knew that I had less shells remaining, I would have been more careful here. Down to last 4 shells. Even at this point, I didn't know. I was happy, as happy as a bird who has learned to fly. 7,800 damage. I do see that A2 has 1000 HP. However, there was another tank that's almost full health. That is the T-85. I put a shot into the T-71B, 72B, and it was side on, and that started my focus on the Ruthless. And at this point, I was trying to finish him and realized, okay, why isn't the gun working? And I read the message. This is the message you don't want to see. Cannot fire out of shells. And the game that could have been my first 20k is no longer. That is no longer the case. I was heartbroken. Despite this being a bad bot game, I just wanted to have one 20k damage game in another 3. Nonetheless, didn't happen. Ruthless put me out of my misery. I was ramming into him, trying to hit the 20k mark, but I couldn't. So that's it for this video. Do let me know what you think about the tank, as well as hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.